is a drug, but it's heaven sent. If sex and lust staying up relevant, don't separate mixing omnipotence. Fetishize me like your girls in the pornography. A feeling so visceral, images are subconscious. Let's make it a ritual, make me a fantasy. Your Lilith and Eve, sweet and nasty.
Welcome back to the channel. It's your girl Karina, and we are continuing our series on the 11th house. Now, the 11th house is a very complex place, and it has multi-layers to it. But in this series, we are focusing specifically on your ability to mesmerize a crowd of people, to gain fans and followers, friends and supporters, to operate in a social setting and really kind of stand out, or just be able to be confident within any sort of social setting. That's 11th house. And where do we get that energy? Where do we get all this meaning from? We get it from Aquarius, the sign of friends, okay? Innovation and connecting with groups of people, okay? Carrying the load of groups of people. Now, when you were born, you may not have had Aquarius in the 11th house, but that still doesn't mean that you can't gain your own fans and followers. On the contrary, certain placements besides Aquarius might give you an even better chance. And some of us are naturally able to do this, but if you're not, maybe you can look to your astrology to get a little short tips and tricks to get the ball rolling, okay? So when you were born, you have a specific zodiac sign in the 11th house, and you may even have two zodiac signs. So I actually recommend to watch both zodiac signs if you have two in your 11th house. In this video, we are going to talk about Taurus. Taurus in the 11th house is a very interesting placement. People who have this in their 11th house sometimes share it with Aries, so they are a little bit in the space of being leaders, but they may be like a pioneer, but on a more low-key, chill level, okay? But the biggest thing about Taurus is that they're naturally very talented, specifically through the voice. And one of the ways that you really pull interesting people to you is by utilizing your voice, and just your voice only, okay? Adele, for instance, is one person that has Taurus mainly in her 11th house. It does share the 11th house with Aries, right? And you may find that to be the case sometimes. But she is somebody who is very well known for her voice. I mean, she is classically known for having a powerhouse voice. Okay, another person that mainly has Taurus in her 11th house, but also shares it with Aries, a little bit of Gemini there, but Taurus is completely in her 11th house with two planets there, is Cher. Also very well known and legendary for her voice, okay? The thing about the Taurus voice is that it does show power. It's about also the timbre, and whether you have a light and airy voice as a Taurus or deep and raspy voice, there will be something about the inflections, the way that your voice affects people's eardrums and hits the hairs of their eardrums. There's something about your distinct voice that can help to allure an entire crowd, fans and followers, okay? So anywhere you find Taurus in your chart, you want to use your voice, okay? But when Taurus is in the 11th house, you want to use your voice to gain fans and followers, which means that you can also not just be a singer, but you can also maybe even just be a podcast person. You know what I'm saying? You could not show your face at all and just be the person that is behind the mic, okay? And that too would give a strong Taurus energy. So the voice is key here. The voice is everything. The sound of the voice, how you use the voice. And it may not even always matter what you say. Now, if you have Gemini here, it might matter more about what the context is. But it's just the actual speaking voice that people need and are naturally comforted and nourished by. Now, moving on with Taurus in the 11th house, it's important to know that wherever you find Taurus, you're going to find wealth, richness, the sense of deep nourishment, okay? And so because of this, people who have Taurus in the 11th house can be very popular just off of being rich, okay? Maybe they have a rags to riches story that they can tell, but people won't really care much about the fact that you started from nothing, like other signs, and like Scorpio, for instance. With Taurus in the 11th house, is the fact that you are rich that makes you naturally have credibility. Boom. So if you are struggling with your money right now, it actually will show to people that you're not necessarily ready to be, followed and loved and adored by them. But what you can do is to start showing and maybe even displaying like the fact that you are on a journey of gaining wealth and being rich. The thing with Taurus is that Taurus doesn't put up a facade, okay, like her sister Libra. Okay, Taurus is very much like, as I am is as I am. So being authentic works well with Taurus in the 11th house, whereas if Libra was here, you could probably fake it till you make it. But being more on the authentic side with Taurus, sharing maybe your trials and tribulations, but not as much as the fact that you're trying to make a change and make a difference. So if you're not rich and wealthy yet, showing where your journey to being that. But it could also be your richness and wealth and value on some other topic. So it may not necessarily just be money, even though that works. But the other thing that could be is if you have like a topic that you're very knowledgeable about, to share and show the richness of your love for it. Okay, it may not necessarily just be teaching, but just showing how much you love this topic, what you love about it, or something like that. It's like when you have a fancy bag and you want to show it off to all your friends, like show and tell, like your favorite things. If you treat the things that you hold in high regard as that, then this also works well in the 11th house. Taurus, being naturally ruled by Venus, is also about beauty. So if you are big on fashion, big on makeup, trying to go against the grain, maybe even be innovative with beauty, like, maybe creating new ways of beauty or changing up the whole way that it's done, or maybe even doing something a little bit off the grain that nobody else would consider, like maybe an ugly version of beauty, something like that. You know what I'm saying? Like a lot of like the face painting, or the art of, I forget what it's called, but it's like, when makeup artists like do up a face so it's like a mask, or it's like another human being or a beast or whatever. Like if you try to take it to another level with Taurus in the 11th house, showing your artistic flair but putting it on a new and innovative way, could really pull out a lot of fans and followers with this placement. Okay, so with Taurus, you want to use your creativity, you want to show off brag a little bit, okay, and you also want to use your voice, okay? And with all of that, you will find that people are going to naturally want to follow you. Really with Taurus, it's about wanting to support you. You're going to have loyal support, fixed support. Once people are on, they're on for life with Taurus in the 11th house, okay? I hope you guys enjoy this video, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace and love.